and welcome to another recording. Today we're going to paint one of my favorite things ever, and that is bubbles. Now today we're actually going to be using a pencil, and I usually don't use them in my paintings, and you don't have to, it's just to trace out a circle, but if you would prefer not to use a pencil for your hands, then that's fine, you just get the vague shape of a circle. Now I've wet the back of this paper and stuck it down, and now I'm wetting the front. And we're going to be doing a negative painting today, so let's pick our colours. I'm going to go with this Windsor Violet because I love it so much. So that's all dry. Now what we want to do is we want to take our circles. Here I've got 3 different size circles, kid's cup, a lid, and a little sauce Tupperware container. You just want to be really light with your pencil. Okay, so we're painting the shadows. So we're going to get our colours. We're going to go around. Those traced lines that we did. Now you can just paint this with water and then drop your colours in, or you can have your colours ready. If you drop your colours in, you risk, see what I was doing just there, so I'm going to get hard lines, and I don't want hard lines, so I'm going to paint it all with water first. I'm just going to pop a thing on. It's going to make it heaps easier. We're all about doing things easy. So we want to be as upright as possible, holding our paintbrush nice and loose. You can see I'm using a very big brush here. That reduces the amount of strokes that I have to do with my brush, but also it means, see how light I'm gripping my brush? I'm barely holding it. The smaller your brush and the more strokes you have to do, the tighter you hold the brush. And we don't want that at all. And I very rarely use pencil, simply because of the fact that if you start doing outlines of paintings, you're going to want to try and pay attention to those works and those lines, and it means that you crane further and further over your painting. I'm not ready to go to a smaller brush, so let's get our big one back. And now we're just going to drop colour in. Don't be shy on the colour. We don't want to just be painting water on our paper. We need to have the shadows, but also remember we're going to be doing one more layer at least, potentially 2 more layers, and so if we go too dark now we won't have anywhere to go later on. Your cheaper paper just won't deal with what we're doing to it. You can even start having the paper break down on you. So that's where, you know, when you start doing this, either the ink just stays on top of the paper, it doesn't actually sink into your paper, and you'll find that like if you're doing these when it's dry and they're moving about and the paper's had enough, it won't do any more for you. Or yeah, when you start doing these ones, the paper starts to peel. We don't want that either. We really don't want that. Okay, that's probably about enough. And we're going to dry it. Now with this technique you want to pick colours that go well together, because you're going to be layering them on top of each other. If you pick colours that don't look well together when they're layered, you're just going to end up with like a muddy brown at the end. So we're trying to pay a little bit of attention to what colours are there in the like in the undercoat. And if you do a boo-boo, just use paper towel or toilet paper. Or, you know, a cloth, because those things are still a scarcity. And I don't know if you can see that very well, but my hand, I have quite a significant hand tremor at times. And so using big brushes with lots of water capacity and avoiding that fine motor, you know, that the really fine detail works helps. So at the moment our colours are really sectioned, but we're going to fix that. And you don't have to use multiple colours. It is in fact easier if you don't. Just using one colour with this technique looks beautiful. And you can just paint that one colour Now you can tell that the paper is just not dealing with the amount of water that it's got going on here, particularly at the edges. See how it's just sunk in, and we've got really vibrant colours in the centre here, but around here it's just sunk in, and it's not nice. And that's nothing to do with our painting style, that is the paper. So I'm really unimpressed with this Saunders and Waterford. The other thing to consider, my beautiful artist friend informed me that Fabriano is the only paper maker that is vegan friendly. If you are vegan, if that's a consideration that you have for your art and your creativity, they don't use any animal glues to make the paper. So the next video I'll do will be on Fabriano paper. Now we're going to dry that. Now we're going to do our final layer. So we want to pick spots that have really nice colours. So there, it looks really nice. And for the last layer, I am just going to do a nice dark colour. So I'm going to do just my Windsor Violet for my last colour, for the last layer. Okay, so I think we've done really well here. Let's just put another one here. Let's have a look at our Windsor and Newton Violet. Yeah, that's going to be dark enough. We don't need to. The other option is we could mix in a bit of indigo, which is a really dark blue. I use that for a lot of my sky scenes. Okay, we're going to dry that. Now I'm just going to give a few of these some gouache.